10th through 12th graders. So we are on week number 5. I hope you guys are starting to get in the practice of watching this, then practicing the section I assigned for that video. So we're doing the A section, the first section, which is 16 measures, so 1 through 16. So I would like you to, when you come to your lesson next week, or sign on to your lesson, I want your measures numbered. I know it says it at the beginning of the line, but I'm tired of watching people count through the line, so please number your measures. I want you to be prepared to tell me the key this piece is in. And then, like last week, this week I'd like you to find a couple of the 1 chord, if you know this, a couple of the 5 chords, and then the 1 chord, they actually go into minor 4 times, just to give it some interesting things. I want to see if you can find those 4 times that it's only for 2 beats, both times that it switches into minor, just to give us a little something interesting to listen to. So, number your measures, tell me the key this piece is in, a couple of times you see the 1 chord, a couple of times you see the 5 chord, and all 4 instances of the 1 minor chord. We're going to do 1 through 16. Con bravura, so boldness, fire, brilliance. I want to hear this. I want you to be able to express that some way. I'm going to ask you how you think that should be expressed when you come into your lesson. I want you to think of this in 4-bar phrases. So the reason I knew it was 4 bar, like the first one was 4 bars, is because you have the crescendo in, I guess it's really crescendo in measure 2, leading up to that D in measure 3. So I know then that we're going to come down off of that. You see that pattern, pa, da, da. We're going to continue. When that pattern stops, we're to the next phrase. So, first phrase, with boldness, fire, brilliance, do not breathe before the D in measure 3. Find some other place to breathe. Hopefully you can get it fast enough you don't need to breathe. But if you don't, that's totally fine. Just don't breathe there. Do you hear me hold that D a little bit, put some vibrato on it in measure 3, because it's the most important note. It's what that whole crescendo is leading to. Your next phrase is the next 4 bars. I had a hard time figuring out the phrasing. How I figured it out is I looked for where the reiteration of that first line was. And if you look at measure 9, it is just like measure 1. So here it is again. So there's the beginning of a new phrase. It felt weird to me, but that's where the phrase is. Your most important note then is actually in measure 8, because look at that crescendo. It's leading you up to the most important note. You don't have to worry about breathing before that D. If you do, it's kind of crazy because it's slurred into it. So, starting in 5. I put a little retard there in measure 8 so that it felt like when we get back to the melody. So that would be great if you could slow those down in measure 8 a little bit on beats 3 and 4. Also notice my dotted 8/16 is very crisp. Bum, ba ba da dum. You don't want to do da 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 da. You don't want to subdivide in triplets. Triplet, triplet, da 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 da, triplet, triplet. So really show me that you understand the difference between the subdivision. Like, let's look at measure 8. You should be subdividing in 16th notes. Then the very next beat, you should be subdividing in triplets, and I want to hear that subdivision change. When you get to measures 11 and 12, you see how you have multiple decrescendos. I think I've told all of you all this. Get loud, soft, loud, soft, loud, soft. And if you look, I knew this was the end of a phrase at the end of 12 because your pattern changed, right? So you're not coming down for 2 beats, coming down for 2 beats. Now you're working your way up. So I knew that was the most important part. Measure 16, that G is the most important note. Everything else after it is just, you're landing on that G in 16. Everything else is just a little flourish, like, I made it, ha, and you work your way back up. So you can take your breath. I took it between 14 and 15, so I did not have to take it between 15 and 16 because that note in 16 is most important. That low G is where you're leading to. Everything else is just, I made it, congratulations. So I will see you at the next video where we start with measure 17. Bye.